me take one last check-in. Are there any others that would like to be added to the list? K6ZSR. You're a little high in frequency. Can you come down a little bit?
Hello? Well, you're on 3894.1, so you're not on 95. Sorry about that, Mike. They checked out there.
Okay, okay. I'll repeat. Zero beat me. Zero beat me. Okay? So there was an N6. Come again. Kilo November 6, Victor, Quebec, Papa. Okay, very good. Have you checked into the Vintage Roundtable before? Okay, can you zero beat me? Hello, KN6VQP. I got that you're somewhere near San Diego. I just need a name there. Go ahead. Okay, we got you that time. Are there any others that would like to be put on the Vintage Sideband Roundtable early list, K6ZSR? Okay, nothing heard. Let me send it over to Dennis. And like I said, as soon as Dennis gets on there, he is the net controller. Let's zero beat him. And let's not get into numbers. The numbers are for non-vintage, those are for the digital guys that worry about the .895s and all of that. So right now, we just want to zero beat Dennis, and I'll do the same. So go ahead, Dennis. Are you ready? K6ZSR.
Oh, I sure am, and I am going to, Mike, I'm going to go ahead and QSY up to 3895. I'm going to put us on frequency, so stand by one. Okay, this is W6DQ, and I will be the host tonight. Mike, I've got the list. Hopefully you copy me okay. And everybody else has moved up frequency a little bit. We are at 3895.00. And that's pretty darn close by my radio. It's pretty darned accurate. In fact, it's probably about as accurate as I can get here, because I take it off of I use my Flex as a reference, which is the GPS lock. So we're right on frequency at this point. Okay, Mike, I've got the list, so you don't need to give that to me. I copied along. So where do you want to be put?
It doesn't matter.
Now I'll put you up. Let's see, where's a good spot? I'll put you after Jeff. I'll put you in the first group. So we'll get you right in there. So, okay. Well, I'm the pinch hitter tonight. Mark was supposed to be a host this evening, but he is otherwise engaged, so he can't be here. So let's go ahead and get this show on the road. Welcome, everybody, to the Vintage Single Sideband Roundtable. This is Dennis, W6DQ, Whiskey 6 Delta, Quebec, and I'm located in Inyokern, California, about 150 miles north of LA in the Eastern Sierras. I am the host for this evening's roundtable. Tonight, the station I'm using is my KWM 380. I should say our KWM 380 and the Alpha 87A through a Palstar HF Auto tuner out to our 160-meter horizontal loop, 540 feet of wire at 15 feet. And it's doing a good job. So let's see. We meet each Tuesday evening at or near 3895. There you go. All of us should be using equipment that was manufactured before 1981 or home-built equipment with equivalent technologies. First-timers, however, may use modern equipment. We will have a question of the evening. and that will be following momentarily. So hang on 1 second while I pull that up. And this is a last-minute question, so don't fault me on this. So the question of the evening this evening will be, tell us what the latest vintage radio project, and that's singular, one project. What is the latest vintage radio project in your shack? I don't want to hear about 2 or 3 projects. I want to hear about one project. Are there any obstacles that you have yet to overcome? So you might share that. Anything that unusual that you've run into, just talk about what the project is, if it's a restoration or maybe you're building something new, whatever. Be good to hear what everybody's up to these days. So I'll share mine a little bit later on. So at this point, I'm going to give you the first 4 in the rotation. Actually, let me do one thing first. Let me see if there's anybody else who'd like to check in real quick. This is W62 for the Vintage Single Sideband Roundtable. Please come down. Nothing heard. Okay, so we're going to do the first 4. So we're going to start with Vaughn, K6 ZTA, followed by Lisa, KF6QNG. And then we're going to go to Jeff, KK6IRZ. And Jeff, hand it over to Mike, K6ZSR. And Mike, you can hand it back to me at that time, and thank you for taking the earlies tonight. So, over to Vaughn, K6ZTA from W6DQ.
Okay, W6DQ. And ZTA here at Woodland Hills, Kansas Zone, 50 November. And we're to hear Mike really going strong down here, really strong. So this is by far the strongest signal in the net or in the roundtable. So, and tonight we're using the usual 100Gs. They're Central Electronics 100Gs that we're using in Barefoot.
Okay, thank you, Vaughn, and thank you, Mike, for taking the earlies, and thank you, Dennis, for the last-minute hosting this evening. So, good to be here. Well, I leave all the radio projects for Dennis, so let him have all the fun. So anyway, but I wish everyone a good day and hope everyone's doing great. And I'll go ahead and turn it over to Jeff, KK6IRZ from KF6QNG.
Okay, very good, and good evening to everybody here on the Vintage Sideband net. This is KK6IRZ, Jeff in Chino, California. And I'm running the same stuff I've been running here for a little while. basically homebrew microphonium, homebrew little preamp going into 1980s-ish ICOM 735, then a homebrew 3CX 1000 amplifier, although running lower voltage, so maybe making 500 watts or so, something like that, and then a homebrew link-coupled balanced antenna tuner system, and open wire line into an inverted V dipole. That's the stuff over here. And the latest project actually was one I just started playing with today, which was an NC100. Nice little receiver. And the first thing that I had to start out with was the dial wasn't moving up and down correctly. Things were slipping or not operating correctly. And as you know, there's a string in the back and has to be routed. It gets wrapped around the, it's kind of a compression slide kit, almost like what you see out on a boat where you got it wrapped 3 times around a turnbuckle and somebody's pulling on the string, and it rolls around it, but you have more control. So you got to get that line perfectly right, and for whatever reason, it looked like it was a new line, but it just was not doing what it needed to do. So as it turned out, I had to get in there and, oh my God, trying to dig in there because it's kind of a one-piece thing. But in any case, that was the first thing I kind of got was the main general coverage control working nicely. I cleaned everything up, sprayed it with contact, all that type of thing. And then once I had at least the main dial moving quite nicely, because the other one, the whole line is off for the band spread. But I'll probably do that, work on that after I get done here and see if I can at least get both the dials and the alignment to the 2 ends all done tonight. That would be nice. But in any case, at that point, I kind of just plugged it in and I, isolated it, turned it on, brought it up slow, looked at the current. Everything looked fine. It came right up to the specifications of what it's supposed to do when it's sitting there idling and running, which was about 55 milliamps, So I said, okay, good to go. I hooked a speaker to it and ran it around and started listening to some signals on it. So it definitely seems to have some stuff low, and the selectivity I think somebody might have tried to play with without everything else being right. So I think there's still some more tinkering, and of course it needs recap. But that was the project that got started today, and I'll keep it going on here. But yeah, so it's been fun, and gave me a little bit of a different thing to do today. I needed a distraction. A whole lot going on here sideways, so I decided to do that. Over to you, Mike. Yes, K6 ZSR. With the group, this is KK6IRZ. Yeah, okay, Jeff, really good. KK6IRZ. And the group, K6ZSR. This is Mike in Santa Barbara. And tonight we're on the Swan 500. And this is one I converted over. Don't ask me why, but I changed the finals to 6146s. And I guess I was bored and looking for projects. But anyway, I got that in there, and I'm at reduced power, so I'm shoving that into a Collins 30L1 and running about close to 600 watts. And that's all going up to an inverted V. And the microphone is just a simple Shure 444. And so that's the setup, fellas. And by the way, Jeff, that homebrew linear, your big signal here, you're pumped over 20 over S9 here. Nice audio. Very nice signal indeed. Let's see, Dennis, the vintage project I got. Now, you said vintage. You didn't say sideman. So, okay, there you go. And so my vintage project is, and it's what I call the elephant in the room, and that is a Collins broadcast transmitter, AM transmitter. I call it the elephant in the room because when you come in here, the room is so small, and it just fits in one corner, and that's it. You can't move around this thing or very easily. So, but anyway, with good help that I've had so far from Dennis, W6DQ, and Dave out there, and Tarzana, so Wayne has helped me. Well, anyway, you get the idea. It's kind of like a group project. I'm having fun. I'm getting closer. I will probably be done in 2 days with as far as I could go. Dennis is designing me a delayed switching type box, which him and Lisa will be staying over here on for the the first weekend in June for George's AMI net. So looking forward to those guys coming in and finishing this transmitter up. Hopefully we'll get it on the air. We'll see. But anyway, that's what I'm doing. Over to you, Dennis. W6DQ in the group, K6ZSR.
Okay, fine business. Good stuff. All right, Mike. Well, yeah, that 20V2 is coming right along. K6ZSR and a vintage single sideband roundtable, W6DQ here. And yeah, that's going to be a beauty when it's all done, and we'll hopefully get that on the air that weekend. That's the plan. So good on you, and that's quite a project. Those things are never easy to undertake. I mean, you basically have taken the thing down to practically to the bare metal and rebuilt all the high voltage circuitry and all that. So I know it's a lot of work. Jeff, I got a question for you. You said you're working on an NC100. Now, either I'm brain damaged or I've never heard of an NC100 with a dial string on it. They usually had the PWM micrometer dial on them, and some of the other ones just had a what would you call it, like a replacement for the PW dial, which was just a sweep. But is that kind of like a slide rule tuning dial on it? Go ahead.
Yeah, that's exactly what it is. It's two big square faces side by side. One being the band spread for the amateur radio band, and the left side being the general coverage knob, like all with the needle that comes down from the top and just slides left to right on both those larger windows in the front. It's a neat looking little rig.
Okay, well, it sounds more like a NC98 type radio than a NC100. Are you sure it's an NC100? That's really my question. Oh, well, I guess we'll have to come back to that, because it sounds more like an NC98. NC100s that I have, I've actually got several of them. That have the PWM dials on it. But anyway, that's a great project. I'm glad you got it going, and that's always a super thing. And Vaughn with the SX96, another great receiver from the old days. Fantastic, guys. Well, keep it up. Hopefully we'll hear a few more projects like that. I'm going to do the next 4, and then I'm going to go back and look for some more check-ins if anybody's standing by for that, so just be patient. My next group will be starting out with Bob, AK6R, with his visitor, KB6NUL, Al. And welcome, Al. Hopefully you'll get a chance on the mic there. And Bob, turn it over to Matthew, N4DLA. Matthew, if you'll turn it over to the other Bob, WA9JIB. And Bob, you can turn it over to John, K6KOI. And John, go ahead and give it back to me when you're done. So Bob, AK6R, take it away. W6DQ in the vintage single sideband roundtable.
Yeah, let's start now.
All right, let's see if we're working a little bit better. I was on the wrong antenna there. I was playing different antennas. Anyway, W6DQ to take AK6R. Very good. Nice signal tonight, Dennis, and thanks for getting us back on frequency. And let's see what else is new here. Vintage-wise, I'm just trying to think what the last vintage equipment was, but my friend Al, TV6NUL, had to take off, but he is the vintage guy. He was a former engineer at Lockheed and also some companies down here in Southern California, and he loves working on vintage gear, vintage receivers, transceivers. He can even do solid state and tube combinations, that kind of stuff. And we bought a couple of radios at the Escondido auction this weekend. I was the auctioneer, and there was quite a few old radios from the 50s and 60s. And we got a couple of them, and darn if I can remember what the numbers were on them, but he's taking them home, taking them all apart, and starting to put them back together again. So next week he should be here for all of Tuesday, and we'll get him to give us a report on that. But as far as radios that I've been working on, haven't been working on it. I've been concentrating on getting to Dayton this week, and for the last 30 days I've been working on different antennas and antenna designs and stuff like that. So anyway, I'll toss it over to Matthew. You had a good signal. Hopefully you come up a little bit and see what you have to say. N4 DLA to take it, but AK6R.
Okay, thank you, Bob. AK6R in the vintage single sideband roundtable. This is Matthew, N4 DLA, in Orinda, California, about 15 miles east of San Francisco. Transceiver is a vintage 1977 Atlas 210X, about 100 watts, straight feeding a 75-meter dipole swooping down from 60 feet. Shure 444 microphone. And Bob, that's an easy answer to tonight's question, because I am working on the Johnson Messenger 2 11-meter transceiver that I bought from your spread you had at N6KN's barbecue there in the RPV. So far it doesn't receive yet. It transmits with a loud squeal, but it's putting out 18 watts peak envelope power and about 8 watts carrier, so it's running a little hot for 11 meters. I'm actually going to bump it up to 10 meters. I found a service manual online, and also Sam's Photo Fact I got on eBay, and also eBay an original owner's manual, and get it going to drive a LQ6 50 watt 11 meter linear that will work just fine on 10 meters to use it on 10 meter AM. So that's the project, and it's all W6DQ's fault. So turn it over to the next Bob, my fellow rail fan, WA9JIB from N4DLA.
Okay, Matthew, N4DLA and the Sideband Roundtable, WA9JIB, Bob over here in La Piñata. And let's see, Matthew, you're up, your strength is a little bit up from before, but still, well, I am hearing you. Let's see, so I'm on the Helicopters Green Station tonight, so we're supposed to see Cameron MC50 mic, with the H232D, and it's Nike FX115. Got an R48 speaker, goes through the air up my emergency dipole, hanging off the 35-foot mast. Well, I really didn't intend to have a project, so I might have one that not quite so really one, but you never know. So I'm also down here in La Piñata, JPL, color, who's 102 years old, will be 102 at the end of July. 3905 Anyway, he wanted to get rid of his Helicopter HG33A as an Alpha. And with the D model would be the perfect mate to this 32D and the 115. Even so, it's a pretty good mate. Darn good, actually. So I used to weight 109 pounds. And JIB doesn't really use amplifiers that much. Do I really need that kind of power? So my intention was that this was going to go to RCP7LOQ. And that was his intention too. But I haven't heard too much from Art on it, and I know that he's had some health problems. And I hope that he's okay, and I hope that this is going to raise his shack at some point. But if it doesn't, for whatever reason, then I'm going to have to deal with it. And because he has the filter cap, he also has filter cap on it. So there's this sticky, what is it, PCB oil on it. And I would appreciate any suggestions as to how to clean that up safely. The two rectifier tubes, which I think are 866s, looks like it's been solid stated. Other than that, it looks pretty clean. And got the CL172 tube also. Pretty hefty amp, 1,000 watts. The manual says on AM too. I'm not sure how they measure that. But anyway, it's taking what I'm working on that. See what I can do. So the other suggestion on how to clean up the potential carcinogenic PCB oil. How would I replace that filter capacitor? I'm sure the original part is done titanium. Yes, you can get parts on eBay and the internet. There's all sorts of So I know that some people prefer to do that. All right, that's about it. So I would appreciate it. So with that, I'll turn it back over to K6KOI. John, to take it. WA9JIB.
WA9JIB, K6KOI. Bob, I wish I had some good suggestions for you. I don't. I think I'd be really, really careful of the PCBs. You know, you don't need to expose yourself to that stuff. It's not worth it. By the way, this is John, K6KOI in Del Mar. I'm on a Swan. It's the all-solid-state MX100. And I'm using it with a little amp that is also solid-state using MRF 454s, 8 of them. So I'm running about 500 watts PEP into a full-wave loop, and the microphone is a venerable Shure 444D. So just real quickly, back to the HT33. I had one of those, and it was a prior owner was Ted Henry of Henry Radio, and he had replaced one of the controls. I think it was the tuning control with a vacuum variable. It was a wonderful, wonderful amp. And if I'm not mistaken, I don't think it had a changeover relay built into it. I think I had to do some kind of switching. I don't know. It's all pretty foggy now. To answer your question of the evening, Dennis, I've been working off and on an SB104A, a wonderful piece kit, all-solid-state transceiver. It works quite well, except it has lower than it should output on all bands but 40. 40 is 100 watts, so I know my amplifier is working okay. That is my transistors in the amplifier that's in the 104. But on this band it's about 50 watts, and on 20 it's about 40 watts. You get the idea. It's all over the place. 15 actually jumps up to 65. The only things I've done so far is I've swept the low-pass filters, and they look okay. I checked the drive. It looks okay. So I'm a little bit, right now I'm not quite sure what's going on. Okay, this amplifier's getting kind of hot. The fan is moving pretty quickly, so I'll turn it back over to you, Dash, K6KOI.
All right, John, very good. K6KOI on the Vintage Single Sideband Roundtable, W6DQ here. And yeah, I heard the fans come on in the background. Yeah, it's making some noise there. Well, very good on the SB104. That's what I've actually been working. My latest project here has been an SB104A, and it's the one I picked up at Rocco and Cindy's. N6KN's barbecue from Mark and all the goodies that go with it, and I had it fired up for the first time today. And the receiver works great. I'm hearing just fine. I'm not getting any output, so I've got something else going on, and I may be just operator cockpit error. I'm not sure, but I'm going to take it out and put it on the workbench. It's right now all buried on a shelf on the desk. But and I've yet to fire up the SB230, but that'll be next. But I'm working on that whole SB104A line, and boy, that is a nice radio. It's really a cool set. So let's see, John. Good luck with that. Hope you get that sorted out. And Bob with the HT33A and the PCBs. Yeah, that's nasty stuff. It's really bad if it burns. That's what really gets to you. But it is toxic even if it isn't burning. So you do have to handle it carefully. I would suggest using proper protective equipment, like maybe some gloves or something, like you use for dishwashing, rubber gloves. And I would guess that something like alcohol would be the thing I would start with. Any good solvent for oil, being careful not to get it on any plastic or other parts or paint or anything, but acetone would probably take it off real easily, or MEK if you can get that. Any good solvent should kill it, but just be really careful with that. And Matthew, the Messenger 2, well, cool. I'm glad you're working on that. Yeah, that was the one you got from me on 10 meters AM. How cool is that? You can join the gang up on 10 meter AM with that. That'll be really cool, and I wish you luck on that. I hope that it works out. I had no idea what condition that was in. It came out of a pile of stuff that I bought, and unknown, untested. It was pretty decent shape, though. It looked pretty good, but very cool that you got that going. And Bob, no radio projects, but yeah, working on antennas, and you're getting ready for Dayton and the banquet there. So good luck with you on that. Break a leg, my friend. So at this time, I'll say I think I got everybody there. Yeah, let's see if I got anybody else who'd like to check into the Vintage Single Sideband Roundtable. This is W6DQ.
Whiskey 7 Mexico Sierra, Mike in Reno.
Oh boy, there was a pile up. So the one I got out of that was W7MS Mike. There were a couple others in there. Come again, and let's see if we can spread it out a little bit.
WJ6W.
K2RP.
Okay, I got, let's see, I got WA7BIP. Gary, welcome. And I got WJ6W. Dave, good evening. Got nice signals. And K2RP, you're already on the list, Ron, if that was you in there.
Yeah, that was me. You didn't have me much.
Well, we'll get to you next. You're coming up. So you're in the next group of 4. That was the end of that group. So you're going to be next, Ron, K2RP, followed by Skip, K6LGL. Then Dave, WI6R, and Ken, KW1NG, and Ken, if you'll give it back to me. So Ron, it's your turn, K2RP from W6DQ.
Ron, can I butt in for a second?
Yeah, go ahead, John.
Okay, real quickly, Dennis, you're aware that there's an accessory socket that needs to have a short across a couple of terminals, correct?
Roger that, yes.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm aware of that. Thanks. I appreciate the comment. Okay, go ahead, Ron. W6DQ.
Okay, thanks, Dennis. Maybe I misunderstood. I thought you were at the end. Anyway, before I take my turn, I wanted to report on George, W6YEC. I spoke to him a couple days ago. He's in a rehab facility, trying to get the paralysis out of his left side. He sounds pretty good, but not the old George, and we're all hoping that he'll continue. I think for now they suggest no postpone. He told me, and we can hear from him, but we can use
up at on the classic exchange that let all the smoke out. I got to start putting all the smoke back in. We've been away on a trip for a couple weeks. Now we're back for a few days. So out for another one for a few days. Then hopefully I'll get back to it. Bob, the best of luck in Dayton. I know you'll enjoy it. It's an experience you can't describe. And I hope you don't come back with too much stuff. Apparently you're flying. That's good. When we drove, it was something else. That's about all I got to say, I think. On a TR4CW, actually. I'm running about 200 watts out. Shore 444 and the usual G5RV. Everybody's sounding great. And I guess we'll see you all next week. Let me go to Dave, WJ6W is next, K2RP.
Nope. Stand by. It goes to Skip, K6LGL.
Oh, sorry, Skip.
Okay, no problem. Do I turn over to WI6R Dennis Oates?
That is correct, yes.
Okay, thank you. K6LGL here in Santa Monica. Good evening to all the members of the Winded Sideband net and so on. And yeah, I guess we all got together back on 95. I want to compliment you, Mike. You got a very good sounding salon there with your 6146 modification. Got great sounding audio with that amplifier. So it's doing a great job. I got the strongest signal on the band. And also a very good signal there from Jeff and Chino. As to what I'm doing, I'm beginning to troubleshoot my Globe King 400. The homebrew transmitters that I modified that a little bit. Just getting into it, not too much to report yet. And have to start at the top, start at the transmitter final. Also, voltages appear to be okay, but I'm not sure what the high voltage is doing there yet. So, and then check the high voltage power supply. So that's the thing there, and then next online is put in a safety 3-prong cord into my Johnson Viking Ranger 2. Okay, over next to Dave there, WI6R. Good to hear you. K6 Little Green Light, Santa Monica by the Bay.
Well, thanks there, Skip. K6LGL and the Vintage Single Sideband Roundtable from WI6R. Dave in Kingman, Arizona. And we had the second day of storms rolling in here, and today, along with the storm, came some sort of electrical disturbance, which is about S9 to 5 over. So we're fortunate we've copied everybody so far. And by the way, Dennis, if you're in a contest, put Lisa on the mic, because she's got a lot of punch there. So good evening to everybody. Last project, it's so long ago, I'm not sure I can remember my last project. I think it was the 75A132V2, but the current project is, until it's done, is an ART-13 power supply. And that's going to be it for a while. When that one's done, I've got 2 more projects promised to other people, and those have to be done. So before I get to any of my projects, which are probably 20. And tonight we're running Debium 2A 312D5, Collins SM1 mic, and a 30L1 to our 80-meter vertical. And that's what we've got here. And I'm sorry, Dennis, I did not copy. It was one of those big noise crashes. I missed who I'm supposed to turn it to. So I'm going to let you pass that on, Dennis. Thanks very much, and Mike, for taking the early check-ins. This is WI6R.
Okay, Dave, no problem. It goes over to Ken, KW1NG. Go ahead and take it, W6DQ.
Okay, thank you very much, Dave and Dennis. Appreciate that. I am on the S line tonight, the 75S3C, 32S3, and the newly on-the-air 30L1. So it's running, 500-600 watts, something like that, into AK6R's famous NFED antenna with a 9-to-1 bullet at the bottom, 85 foot, hung up in the tree. There's about 20 foot that's vertical and about 65 foot that's sloping up towards the south, so it's got a little bit of north directivity, I think. Anyway, it seems to work quite well at 40 and 80 and sometimes 20. I intend to, other projects. I'm working on a multi-band Moxon for the 20 meters and up. So that's not the vintage project. The vintage project is a 350 Bravo, Swan 350 Bravo, single output tube, last to the line of the Cygnus, and it seems quite soft. It's only putting out about 50 watts. So I got a new final for it, and going to put that in and check it out. So glad to hear about George. I hope he's progressing well. I know it's going to be a long recovery, and I certainly hope that he gets better soon. It's a tough one. And that's about it for me tonight. I've got a dinner waiting for me, so I'm going to make this my 73 round and say good night to everybody. By the way, everybody's running pretty good signals. A couple of you are down below S9 for the still copy, and some of you, like Dennis, you're 20, 30 over, so booming in. All right, gentlemen and ladies, good evening, 7-3 all, KW1NG, back to W6DQ.
All right, Ken, very good. Sounds good. Well, you're sounding good up here. Good on the 30L1. Let's see. First off, KW1NG, W6DQ here for the vintage single sideband round table. But yeah, you're sounding really good. Nice signal and plenty loud. Hitting 15 to 20 over. So that's great. And congrats on getting the 30L1 up and on the air. So good to hear that. I don't know. You're leaving, so we'll have to hear about the power switch. Well, I guess you've got it being switched externally, which is a better way to do it. So that's good. All righty. Let's see. And let's see. Dave, you're working on a power supply for an ART-13. I'm hoping that. It sounds like that's not for you. It sounds like it's somebody else's project. But anyway, good to have you on the air nonetheless, and good to have you here with us. And good luck on that power supply. That's got to be a beefy power supply. 28 volts at buku amps. So have fun with that, and good luck on that project. And Skip, good luck with the Globe King. Yeah, you've had that down for quite a while. So good luck getting that back on the air. Hopefully you'll have that back up on Wednesday nights very soon. And Ron, with letting the smoke out of all your, multiple radios on the Classic Exchange. Wouldn't you know it? Been there, done that. And not necessarily on the Classic Exchange, just turning something on and having it go up in smoke. One of my 30L1s did that a while back. Thankfully, it was something simple. But boy, oh boy, good luck with that. Sounds like you got your hands full. Okay. Coming up to the last group, and for the benefit of the late check-ins, I'm going to repeat the question. You might have an idea what it is already, but basically, I want you to talk about your latest vintage radio project, and that's project singular in your shack. And tell us about things like if you've had to overcome any obstacles, or if you had any problems, or if everything went smoothly and everything's working hunky-dory. Want to hear about all that stuff, but just a single project. So with that, we're going to start with Jim, KN6DQP. You're up first. And Jim, if you'll hand it over to Mike, W7MS. Good to hear you, Mike. Welcome. And then over to Gary, WA7BIP, who, Gary, you're really loud tonight, so hopefully that holds up. And then Gary, hand it over to Dave, WJ6W, and then Dave, you can give it back to me. So Jim, take it away. KN6DQP and the Vintage Single Sideband Roundtable. This is W6DQ. Okay, I'm not hearing Jim in there. VQP, are you around?
Negative Santa Monica.
Yeah, no joy. Okay, Mike, go ahead and pick it up. W7MS, W6DQ.
Okay, well, W6DQ and the Vintage Sideband Roundtable, W7MS, Mike and Reno, and a pleasant surprise to hear you, Dennis. We're entering the summer season where normally I just kind of take this net off because conditions are horrendous, especially if NCS is in Southern California, but you're doing quite well. And since I was able to win the pile-up on the late check-in list, I guess I'm doing okay at your receive location. But again, Mike and Reno, tonight running the easy stuff, and that's the Rockwell Collins HF 380. My $30 audio chain being fed with a Electro Voice RE8000 condenser microphone. Amplifiers my home-built, home-engineered GU84B Soviet tube, also known as the 4CX2500, with an additional couple of dB on the input to keep it at about 1,000 watts. Otherwise, heck, you know, it's 2,500, but I'm more worried about damaging equipment than Part 97. Full disclosure on that. But projects, yeah, I'm glad you said one, and we'll keep it at one because I actually had thought of several based on previous exposés from other stations. But the latest completed project was a GRC 19 ground radio communications model number 19. Of course, that's a military set, a green radio, which was developed by Collins starting in 1950, and I think the contracts were let to various sub-manufacturers in 1952. So I stumbled into this, the T195 transmitter, really cool unit, auto-tuned, automatic antenna coupler, using one of the famous Collins ribbon inductors, and really cool, and that gave me a chance to couple my R392 receiver to its appropriate transmitter, and then of course luckily found a mount that was somewhat close to Reno because the price was right, but of course the shipping on 50 pounds from a distant shipper would be more than the purchase price. But that's the lowdown here. And my gosh, we could rattle on for 5 minutes with projects, but that's the latest completed project. So with that, over to Gary, WA7PIP, W7MS. dial, and no big complaints. So that's anyway, that's what I got going, and nothing else to do. Thank you very much, Ron, Lindsay, and George. Thank you, guys. Well, thank you, Gary, very much. WA7VIP WJ6W here in Tarzana. Yeah, let's see. I have a comment to Bob, or everyone, I guess. Those PCB caps, I'm wondering how you properly dispose of those. If the electronics junk places will take them, or what you do with them once you get them out. That's what came to mind with me. And let's see. Oh, we're running tonight the Drake TR7 transceiver and a Collins 3001 amplifier for this setup here. And let's see. Dennis, your KWM 380 sounds fantastic here. Great signal and good audio. Sounds very good. So you can be proud of that. Well, I mean, I've heard it before. It always sounds good. So let's see. The project I have is adding a VFO stabilizer to my Helicopter's SX117 receiver. I recently took that with a matching transmitter over to the mini sideband barbecue. And was offering it for sale, but I didn't really make much of a deal out of it. So anyway, I brought it home and I hadn't used it in a while, so I set it all up and I thought I'd use it for a while. And I remembered after turning it on for an hour, I realized I'd forgotten actually that the thing drifts a lot. So I have some VFO stabilizer cards. I've added it to 3 other radios around here. And they work fantastic. So I think the SX117 could use one. That'll stabilize it so it's ready to go in about a minute. So I was actually going to start on that today, but didn't get around to it. So that's my combination vintage project with some modern circuitry there. So I kind of enjoyed playing with it again. So I don't know if I'll try to sell it or keep it a while longer. So that's what I'm going to do, Dennis. Back to you. W6DQ, WJ6W.
All right, Dave. Fantastic. WJ6W and the Vintage Single Sideband Roundtable. W6DQ here. Well, very good on the SX117 stabilizer. Cool. Yeah, those are really a great project. We're going to have to talk about that sometime. I think we've talked about that many times on the roundtable here. But we ought to come up with I don't know who's making them these days. The guys that were making them in England, the guy that was making them, I know that was the Huff and Puff, as they called it. I know he's shut down, but I know there's still some other ones out there. So that's a really cool project. And Gary, oh, by the way, Dave, your TR7 sounds fantastic here. You got a beautiful signal. You're 20 over, and absolutely beautiful audio as well. As always, yeah, you always sound good up here, no matter what you're on, whether you're on AM or you're on sideband. You always do sound good. So I'm going to give a little rundown a little bit later on some of the signal strengths, because we've had some really nice signals tonight. But Gary, the Ranger 2, working on that, paired up with an NC101X. I've got an NC101X. That's one of the other nationals I've got here. Those are a cool little set. And so know those well, both of those, both Ranger and Ranger 2. Got those as well. So good luck with that project. And Mike, the GRC19, fantastic. And you found the mount for it. So much the better. Wow. Good on you. And you're sounding good down here on the HF380, and yeah, good signal. You're pretty much the strongest. Well, see, between you and Dave, WI6R and Mike, K6ZSR, you guys have the strongest signals here. So it's really good. Yeah, the band is really helping out tonight. And Ken working on no, not Ken. Yeah, Ken, I got you already. No, that was the last group. Going through my list here. So Jim didn't come back, so I'm going to give him another call. But anyway, great projects, everyone. I'm going to see if there's anybody else who'd like to join us. But first I'm going to see if Jim is back. KN6VQP, are you there? This is W6DQ.
K6LK.
Comment? Yeah, okay, hang on. Bill, I got you. K6LK. I was looking for VQP, and that sounded like John. KOI, go ahead. Go ahead with the comment.
Oh, yeah, sorry. Hi, Dennis. This is Dave WI6R. Yeah, I just wanted to make a quick comment because of the two people on SB104A. And my experience with that is every one of the little RCA photo interconnects clean both sides of the connectors really well. Even if it appears to put out power on one band and not the others, clean them all. That is one of the most common issues with the transmit.
That is a good point, and as a matter of fact, this SB104A has your call sign on it. So it came from Mark, and I think it came to him from you. So that's the deal here. So thanks, Dave. I wasn't sure who that was with the comment, but I appreciate the comment. Yeah, that's always a good thing to do. And you know, I was thinking probably cleaning all of the connectors on all the cards and all the RCA jacks, all of that, it all really needs to be gone through. So at least we're in a good environment out here where it's nice and dry, where they won't corrode. That's one thing I'm thankful for. So there you go. Bill, K6LK, go ahead and take a turn.
Yeah, okay, Dennis. W6DQ, K6LK. I didn't know how you were copying me. I've been having trouble with my Swan 175. It's having some VFO problems, so I got to get that straightened out, Dennis. So I've had to resort to another radio tonight, but I'll keep it short. Just want to say hello to the group, and that's the Swan Junkie is having problems with the Swan. So there you go. W6DQ, K6LK.
Okay, Bill, very good. Swan Junkie. Yeah, okay, well, hopefully you'll get that sorted out. It's always nice to hear that 175 on the air. That's such a cool old radio. So this is good. This is good. By the way, I meant to comment on this, and I failed to do so, and this is for Ron, K2RP. Thank you very much for filling us in on George. It's always good to hear how he's doing. We'll have to see about getting in touch with him and saying hello. You're saying about he'd like to get some phone calls. So I don't have a number to call, but maybe I can send you an email and get that information from you, or maybe that's something we can post on the reflector. But it'd be good to talk to George and help cheer him up there and keep his spirits going. So thanks for that, Ron. Well, let's see. Yeah, I think I mentioned Mike is ZSR and Mike MS and Dave. You guys had the most audacious signals. You guys were pushing 20 to 30 over. Dave was right behind at 20 over. So, man, nice signals tonight. Well, you know, this is a toughie. I hate to do this because I've been helping on this, but it's just such a daunting project for Mike, K6ZSR. I think I'm going to give Mike the gold cup for the 20V2, and we're going to hold that in escrow until it's on the air for you. So once it's on the air, we'll award that. But Mike, that has just been such a great project. And I'm glad that I've been able to help you, and Dave's been able to help, and Wayne's been able to help. And it's been a lot of fun watching you do that. And it's inspired me to do some things on mine, like I said. So I think that's a great project. The other one, let's see, there was another project I could probably award a Silver Cup. Where was the other one there that I was looking at? I think it was Jeff in the NC100. Or I think you corrected yourself. It's an NC109, and that sounds more like what you were describing. So good on that one. That's kind of a neat radio to bring back up, and kind of a nice general coverage receiver that was a nice one in its day. So, Mike, I'm going to give you the Gold Cup. Any comments from you, sir? K6ZSR from W6DQ.
Yeah, okay, Dennis, W6DQ in the group, K6ZSR. Well, thank you so much. It's been a long time since I've had a Golden Cup award. The coveted Golden Cup, yeah. But anyway, thanks. And the only thing I'm going to say, Dennis, is I got some photos coming your way tomorrow. I'll be working on it, and I'm just about there. So the only thing is, I really would need you to really check the wiring that I've done here, because I'm going to be a little leery on throwing the big juice switch there, you know. Oh, my goodness, what a day that's going to be. But anyway, thanks again, Dennis. Dennis covered his ears there. That's always something. But anyway, I can't wait to get it on the air. It's been a long time. Thanks again, Dennis. W6DQ and a wonderful net. And you're so smooth there as the host. Everything is just like really transparent, very easily flowing. It's just a really nice round table this evening. Thanks, Dennis. W6DQ in the group, K6ZSR.
Hey, Mike.
Yeah.
Yeah, Mike, this is WJ6W. Would you call me? I have a question on the 20V2 project on your transmitter there, and I might have some a little additional helpful information, okay?